15, you took the table by the glass, ordered coffee, read the headlines, watched the bicycles go past. I always sat 2 tables over with a notebook and a pen. We had shared 100 mornings without speaking once back then. The morning you sat at my table, you said, "I hope you don't mind." Every other chair was empty, but I said, "No, that's fine." The morning you sat at my table, the coffee somehow tasted new. The record played behind the counter, and I forgot what I came to do. You told me you worked near the station, selling flowers until 3. I told you I wrote advertisements for things nobody really needs. You laughed and stirred your coffee. The sunlight moved across the floor. A trumpet played a little louder than I had noticed it before. The morning you sat at my table, we talked until 10:30. The owner filled our cups twice over and played the same old song again. You said you came here every morning because your father loved this place. He used to sit beside the speaker, close his eyes and tap the table. I told you I came here too. My room was quiet after 7. Sometimes the sound of cups and voices made an ordinary morning better. The morning you sat at my table, nothing happened, nothing grand, no promises and no confessions, just coffee warming both our hands. The next day I arrived at 8, your usual table was still free. I wondered where you might be sitting, then heard you call across to me. I saved a chair beside the window, you moved your coffee to the side. Outside the city hurried forward, we watched it from the warmth inside. The morning you sat at my table became a Tuesday, then a year. 2 cups waiting by the window, 2 coats hanging very near. Some stories start beneath the moonlight, some begin with summer rain. Ours began with morning coffee and someone simply changing seats. The morning you sat at my table, I had nowhere else to be. Funny how one empty chair can change an ordinary life so quietly.
Every Saturday at 4 o'clock, he pushed the old glass door, looked through records by the window, then checked the second shelf once more. He wore the same brown jacket, carried newspapers under his arm. The owner always asked, "Still looking?" He smiled and said, "Not very hard." The man who came every Saturday always searched the same old row for a record no one remembered, by a singer nobody seemed to know. The man who came every Saturday stayed until the evening train, bought 1 coffee from the machine, then started looking once again. One afternoon I finally asked him, "What is this record you can't find?" He took a photograph from his wallet, folded carefully over time. A young woman stood beside him outside a dance hall by the sea. She sang one song on one small record before she ever married me. He laughed and said she hated singing whenever someone asked at home. But once, before they met each other, she recorded one forgotten song. The man who came every Saturday was looking for a younger voice. Not because the past was better, but because remembering was a choice. Weeks went by and winter ended. Cherry blossoms crossed the street. Then one Saturday the owner shouted, "I think I found what you need." Inside a box from an old collection, under records wrapped in gray, was a faded blue paper cover with a woman looking away. The man who came every Saturday held the record with both hands. He read the name beneath the picture, then quietly began to laugh. The owner closed the shop a little early, put the record on at 5. The needle dropped, the room grew quiet, and a young voice came alive. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished, the piano missed a note or two. But the man beside the speaker whispered, "She still sounds exactly like she used to." The following Saturday at 4 o'clock he came through the door again. This time a woman walked beside him, holding tightly to his hand. She looked around the little record shop, then saw the blue cover there. "You found that terrible song?" She laughed. He said, "I've been looking everywhere." The man who came every Saturday doesn't search the shelves today. Now they sit beside the speaker while their old song starts to play. And every Saturday at 4 o'clock, 2 coffees wait beside the door. Some people search to find the past, some find a reason to make one memory more.
Streetlights came on past the bookstore and the square. You said you had nowhere to hurry. I said I had nowhere to be. We bought 2 oranges from the market, shared a newspaper on a bench. You pointed at a cloud above us, said it looked like someone we knew. We walked until the streetlights came on, talking about everything and nothing. The city changed from gold to blue, and somehow I kept walking with you. We crossed the bridge beside the station, watched the evening trains go by. You told me you once missed a wedding because you stopped to watch the sky. I told you I once quit a good job because the office had no windows. You laughed and said, "That sounds like you," though we had only met that afternoon. We walked until the streetlights came on, past every turn we should have taken. Neither one of us checked the time. Neither one wanted to go home. At 6, we found a tiny record shop. The owner played a trumpet tune. You danced for sudden little seconds, then pretended you had never moved. At 7 we ate noodles standing underneath the striped red sign. You said the soup was much too salty. Then finish yours and half of mine. We walked until the street lights came on. The sidewalks filled, the shops grew bright. A bicycle bell rang behind us, and someone opened windows to the night. We talked about the places we had lived, the people we had almost been, the dreams that sounded very serious when we were only 17. At 8 the first stars appeared between the buildings overhead. You stopped beside a flower stand and bought one yellow flower instead. For your empty table you told me. I said, how do you know it's bare? You smiled and said, you told me twice. Without knowing, you said it there. We walked until the street lights came on, then stood beside the final train. You wrote your number on my newspaper just before the doors closed again. The next afternoon at 3:30, I waited underneath the clock. You arrived carrying 2 oranges and said, so where should we walk? We walked until the street lights came on, and we still do from time to time. Some people fall in love at midnight. We simply walked until the city shines. Dun, 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 dun.
The barber remembered everyone, even after 40 years, who came before their wedding day, who tried to hide their thinning hair. He knew which boys became policemen, who moved away and came back home, who always asked for something different, then said, just cut it like before. The barber remembered everyone, every face and every name. He said, your hair keeps getting shorter, but people mostly stay the same. His shop was near the old post office, 3 chairs and 1 revolving sign. A radio beside the mirror, always running 5 minutes behind. On Saturday, the room was crowded, newspapers passed from hand to hand. Someone argued about baseball, someone slept beneath the fan. The barber remembered everyone, he knew whose children moved away, who needed jokes and who needed silence, who had something hard to say. I first came there when I was 7. My father held me in the chair. I cried before the scissors touched me. The barber gave me candy there. At 17 I changed my hairstyle. He looked at me and shook his head. You'll regret this in a photograph. And every word he said was correct. The barber remembered everyone, every summer, every year. He watched us leave as younger people and welcomed older versions here. One Saturday, a sign appeared, last day, thank you for 40 years. But when I walked inside that morning, the barber laughed. Why all the tears? Sit down, your hair is terrible. Retirement can wait till 3. He tied the white cloth round my shoulders and turned the old chair carefully. The barber remembered everyone, so everyone remembered him. The baker came, the teacher came, the boy who now had children came in. Someone brought a cake at lunchtime, someone brought an old guitar. The barber said, "Please stop this nonsense, you're making my small shop a bar." At 3 o'clock he swept the floor, put every silver tool away, then took the chair beside the window for the first time that Saturday. We asked him what he planned to do now. He smiled and pointed down the street. "There's a cafe I've passed for 40 years. Tomorrow I finally have time to sit and eat." The barber remembered everyone, every story, every face. And when he locked the door behind him, the whole street remembered that place. On Sunday morning I saw him smiling, coffee waiting in his hand. For 40 years he made us sit still. Now he finally had nowhere he had to stand.
Every Sunday round 9, she came walking through the square, past the bakery and bookshop with the morning in her hair. She stopped beside the flower stand, looked at every yellow rose. The old man asked, "Who are they for?" She smiled and said, "Nobody knows." She bought flowers for herself, wrapped in yesterday's news. Red for the kitchen window, yellow for the afternoon. She bought flowers for herself and carried them through town. Some people wait for someone else, she put her own flowers down. The woman at the coffee counter asked, "Is it someone's special day?" She laughed and shook her head, "No reason, I just like them this way." She chose a table by the window, put one flower in a glass. The trumpet played behind the counter and Sunday moved along at last. She bought flowers for herself, no card and no surprise, just something bright beside the window and sunlight in her eyes. Years ago, she kept on waiting for birthdays, letters, telephone calls. She saved her favorite dress for someday and kept good pictures off the walls. Then one morning she decided Sunday was taking much too long. She opened every curtain and played her favorite record song. She bought flowers for herself, took the long way home, stopped to watch the children laughing and never checked her phone. At noon she met an old friend who said, "You look different today." She touched the flowers in her arms and said, "I'm learning not to wait." The flower seller knew her footsteps. Soon he stopped asking who they were for. He saved the brightest ones each Sunday in a small bucket by the door. One rainy week she didn't come. The old man watched the empty square. Then Monday morning, just past 10, she arrived with shorter hair. "I missed Sunday," she told him. He said, "The flowers missed you too." She laughed and bought the whole small bucket, red and yellow, white and blue. She bought flowers for herself, then gave half of them away. One to the baker, one to the waitress, one to a child along the way. She bought flowers for herself and somehow had enough to share. Sometimes the smallest kind of happiness grows brighter when you leave some everywhere.
Every evening just past 7, she climbed the stairs above her room, took the washing from the clothesline while the sky was turning blue. Across the roofs a trumpet started from a window 5 floors high. The player missed the same 3 notes, then stopped and tried another time. The trumpet across the rooftops played when evening filled the sky. She never knew the player's name, but always stayed until goodbye. The trumpet across the rooftops, sometimes slow and sometimes bright. One small song above the chimneys made the city feel alright. On Monday, she brought up a chair and stayed a little after 8. On Tuesday, she forgot the washing until the moon was getting late. The neighbors thought she liked the sunset. She smiled and let them think it true. But every night she crossed her fingers, hoping for that first small tune. The trumpet across the rooftops was never perfect, never clean. Sometimes beauty is a wrong note played exactly where it needs to be. One evening, heavy rain arrived. The clotheslines danced above the street. She stood beneath a broken umbrella, but no trumpet came to me. Wednesday passed and Thursday followed. The window stayed completely dark. She didn't know why silence sounded louder than the traffic in the park. Then Friday evening, just past 7, a single trumpet note appeared. Weak at first, then warm and steady. And she laughed when she could hear the trumpet across the rooftops found the melody once more. She waved a towel above her head and someone waved from the 5th floor. The following week a note appeared inside her building's downstairs hall. Whoever waves the yellow towel, I'm playing Saturday at the Blue Moon Hall. She almost stayed at home that evening, changed her dress 3 different times, then took the bus across the river and arrived before 9:30. The trumpet player crossed the stage, looked older than she had imagined. He searched the room before the first song, then smiled when he saw yellow. The trumpet across the rooftops sounded different from inside, but when he missed those same 3 notes, you knew she'd come to the right night. Afterward he found her waiting near the stairs behind the room. He said, I hope the trumpet isn't keeping everyone awake too soon. She laughed and said, keep practicing, especially those 3 wrong notes. Then they walked toward the station, talking underneath their coats. The trumpet across the rooftop still begins at 7 each night. Now 2 chairs wait beside the clothesline, as the city turns on every light. The driver knew every stop, every corner, every light. 30 years along the same road, through the morning and the night. He knew where the baker boarded, with flowers still upon his shoes, where the nurse got off at sunrise, too tired to read the news. The driver knew every stop, but he knew the people too, who always ran beside the bus, who waved and waited for the next one through. There was a boy with a red school bag who sat behind him every day. Years later, wearing a dark blue suit, that same boy rode the other way. A woman carrying violin music, always boarded after 9. For 7 years she practiced quietly, tapping rhythm all the time. The driver knew every stop, every winter, every spring. He watched the city change its windows, while the route stayed almost the same. One rainy night, a young man boarded without enough money for the fare. The driver waved him toward a seat and said, pay me when you get somewhere. 10 years later, near the hospital, a doctor climbed aboard. He placed one ticket by the driver and said, I still remember what that ride was for. The driver knew every stop, but never knew what happened next. He only opened doors for people and watched them leave without a map or text. On his final Friday evening, the bus was strangely full. People stood along the aisle, though every other bus had room. The baker came without his apron, the nurse arrived before her shift. The boy with the red school bag brought his daughter for the trip. The violin woman brought her instrument and played one quiet melody. The driver laughed into the mirror, you'll make me miss stop 23. The driver knew every stop, but that night the stops knew him. At every corner someone waited just to wave as he passed them. At midnight he reached the terminal, turned the engine off at last. For 30 years he watched life moving through a wide front window glass. The manager handed him the keys and asked, what will you do tomorrow? He smiled and said, I think I'll ride and finally see where all these streets go. The next morning at 8:15, he stood beneath the station clock. When the bus arrived, he climbed aboard and chose a seat behind the driver. The new driver checked the mirror and said, "Where are you going today?" He looked outside and smiled. "Anywhere past my usual stop." The driver knew every stop. Now he had nowhere he had to be. For the first time in 30 years, he watched the city from a passenger seat.
Someone put a red sock in the wash at the laundromat on 3rd Street. 20 white shirts turned pink at once before anyone could stop the machine. Mrs. Green from number 7 held her blouse beneath the light. The young man waiting by the window said, "I think it looks all right." Someone put a red sock in the wash, and nobody would confess. 7 strangers watched the colors turn into one beautiful mess. The businessman beside the dryer said his shirt was ruined for work. The waitress folding towels laughed, "You might finally look interesting, sir." An old woman reading magazines looked up and shook her head. "In 40 years of doing laundry, I've learned to blame the color red." Someone put a red sock in the wash. Round and round the trouble went. The owner offered free coffee, and everyone forgot to be upset. At 1:15, rain started falling. Nobody wanted to leave, so someone found a little radio behind a box of missing sleeves. The station played an old jazz record. The businessman tapped his shoe. The waitress danced beside the dryers like she had nothing else to do. Someone put a red sock in the wash. Now the whole room had turned bright. Pink shirts hanging from the baskets, jazz playing in the middle of the night. A college student near the doorway started drawing everyone. The old woman told 3 stories and forgot how each one had begun. The owner brought out sweet bread left from breakfast yesterday. 7 strangers shared the pieces while the washing spun away. At 2 o'clock, the final dryer stopped with one small silver sound. The businessman put on his pink shirt and slowly turned himself around. "Well?" he asked the room quite seriously. The waitress smiled and said, "Not bad." He looked into the vending mirror and laughed harder than he had. Someone put a red sock in the wash, but nobody seemed to care. 7 strangers came to clean their clothes and left knowing everyone there. The following Friday after midnight, they all returned at 1:30. The owner had moved 2 washing baskets to make a little room for fun. The radio played the same old record. Coffee waited by the wall. Then the businessman arrived in pink with a red sock in his hand. Someone put a red sock in the wash. He raised it like a flag. The whole room laughed. The waitress danced, and the old woman dropped her magazine. Someone put a red sock in the wash. That's how Friday is one small mistake nobody planned. The piano teacher came at 7, like every morning for 40 years. Opened every classroom window and placed the music on the chairs. She sharpened pencils by the piano, wrote the date upon the board, then played the same 4 little notes she always used to start the morning. The piano teacher played one last song, but nobody knew it then. The children waited for the lesson. She simply smiled and played again. She taught them how to count the rhythm, how to listen before they played. Music isn't only hitting notes, it's knowing when to wait. Some children practiced every evening, some forgot their books each week. Some became professional musicians, some never touched a piano again. The piano teacher played one last song for every student she remembered. Every wrong note, every small hand, every nervous first recital. At noon a young man came to visit, wearing a suit and carrying flowers. She looked at him for half a minute, then said, "You still rush the 8th note." He laughed and sat beside the piano. "I haven't played in 20 years." She opened up an easy songbook and said, "Then start from here." The piano teacher played one last song. The young man joined with one slow hand. 2 people played a simple melody neither one had planned. At 3 o'clock the hallway filled with footsteps she had heard before. Former students, parents, teachers kept appearing at the door. A doctor came, a baker came, a woman holding her daughter's hand. A taxi driver brought a trumpet and apologized for joining the wrong band. She looked around the crowded classroom and closed the lesson book. You all became such different people, but you still make that nervous look. The piano teacher played one last song, and this time everyone joined in. Some sang softly, some played badly, some only listened with a grin. The melody was not impressive, no difficult passage, nothing grand. It was the first song she had taught them, played by every pair of hands. When the final note had faded, nobody moved or spoke. She closed the piano lid slowly, then finally told the joke. Tomorrow someone else teaches here, so please try to arrive on time. And if they say your rhythm is terrible, you didn't learn that part from mine. The piano teacher played one last song, then walked home before the rain. But Monday morning, just past 7, she woke up at the same old time again. She made some coffee, opened the window, and heard a piano from across the street. Someone played those same 4 little notes too fast, then started again. The piano teacher smiled and whispered, "Listen first, don't chase the song. Then she sat beside the morning window and quietly tapped the rhythm along.
At 7:30 Sunday morning, the baker opened up his door. Someone played an old jazz record from an apartment on the 4th floor. The trumpet floated down the alley, the piano crossed the street. A woman watering her flowers started tapping with her feet. When every window opened, the music found a way across the roofs and through the curtains into an ordinary day. When every window opened, nobody asked who played the song. The whole street listened for a moment, then quietly moved along. The barber sat outside the cafe with nowhere he had to stand. The bus driver bought the newspaper and held his coffee in both hands. A woman carried yellow flowers past the corner grocery store. 2 children chased a rolling orange and someone laughed from the 2nd floor. When every window opened, the morning filled with sound. A trumpet crossed the rooftops and brought the whole street around. The laundromat was already turning, pink shirts spinning in a row. The owner played the radio louder because everyone knew the song. At 9, the record shop opened. A blue old record filled the room. A couple stood beside the speaker, still laughing like they used to do. When every window opened, the city didn't feel so wide. 100 separate little lives were listening side by side. A piano teacher by her window heard 4 notes from across the street. She smiled and tapped the rhythm, then added 2 notes quietly. The flower seller raised his shutters, the buses started down the road. A young woman crossed the station square with nowhere special she had to go. When every window opened, the sunlight reached the floor. Somebody put another record on and opened 1 window more. By noon the street was full of voices, bicycles, bells, and passing trains. The jazz had disappeared beneath them, but somehow something warm remained. No one knew the record's title, no one knew the singer's name, but all day long the people smiled a little sooner than yesterday. When every window opened, the music traveled on from one small room to another long after the record was gone. At sunset, windows slowly closed, lights appeared behind the glass. The city returned to private stories as evening trains went past. But somewhere in another building, a needle touched a record again. A piano played 4 little notes and someone opened up a window. When every window opens, there is always room for sound. One song can cross a city without ever leaving town. So open up the curtains, put another record on. Someone you will never meet may need to hear that song.